Okay, time for Hot Picks. Our next guest covers software and has one of the pioneers in software as his top pick. Let's get more from Rishi Jaluria, Software Managing Director at RBC Capital Markets. Rishi, thanks as always for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me.
All right, you're going old school with Microsoft. Can we call it old school now?
You know, I mean, Microsoft is one of those really interesting companies that's been proven to be able to reinvent themselves time and time again. Obviously they were, as you mentioned, a pioneer in software, but they really successfully navigated the cloud transition incredibly well. If you look at the momentum they had with Office 365, with Azure, with everything in their cloud suite. And now they're going through that again with AI, right? They were very early to AI, making the first investment in OpenAI back in 2019. And look, they're going down an AI first route, infusing AI throughout the stack. And what I think really impresses me the most about Microsoft, or what makes me the most optimistic about this name, is the fact that I think they have the most amount of ways of benefiting from AI throughout the stack. It's not purely just using the raw compute capacity for training of models, but it's at the data layer with things like Fabric and Cosmos DB. It's at the developer layer with GitHub Copilot, at the application layer with Office Copilot, security layer with Security Copilot. We can even imagine properties like LinkedIn and gaming that are overlooked by investors today becoming material beneficiaries of AI.
So Microsoft, as big as it is, still seems to be able to adapt and lead.
I think that's right, and a lot of it definitely comes down to the leadership of Satya Nadella, who has been very forward-thinking throughout his tenure as Microsoft CEO.
What's he done the most that's impressed you?
I think the biggest thing that I think he's done that I've seen is really double down on innovation, right? The larger a company gets, the harder it is to actually innovate, to come up with new ideas. But he's created this culture of innovation, of almost having a more open ecosystem, a kinder, gentler Microsoft, so to speak, versus what we saw under the Steve Ballmer era, that Microsoft is willing to work directly and integrate directly with their competitors. And I think anything that breeds customer success breeds innovation, and that ultimately breeds company success. And I think that culture that Satya has created has allowed them to be so successful.
Okay, next up, MongoDB.
So MongoDB may not be a household name, but they're a next-gen database vendor. They compete with Oracle, but they're really focused on unstructured data. Think about data that can't fit neatly into rows and columns. And look, the stock's had a great run off the bottom. But what I think makes me the most excited about this one is really, if we think about the opportunity for the creation and development of net new AI applications, especially those leveraging this unstructured data, MongoDB is really well positioned, has the right technology, and I think this can be that developer platform of choice for those AI applications. We're already seeing some of these very hot AI natives like Cursor and Relevance AI using MongoDB, and as those companies become more material, I think that becomes a real tailwind for Mongo.
And what are some of the technologies that you like that they're incorporating?
Yeah, look, I think there's a couple things. Number one is just the ability to work with unstructured data, because working with unstructured data is a very fundamentally different problem than working with structured data, which is where you'd use something like Oracle or open source Postgres. But then I think it's also integrating a lot of these adjacent technologies. You think about things like bringing an Atlas search, a vector database with MongoDB Atlas Vector. Now they're leveraging AI to make it easier to move relational workloads onto a non-relational database, in this case, MongoDB. So I think it's really bringing in all these adjacent technologies onto this core non-relational database and expanding that, because that just leads to greater share of wallet, greater share of workloads. And I think, again, puts them in that position that as we see the development of more and more AI applications, and those applications get scaled, that becomes a real tailwind for MongoDB.
Okay, and last up is HubSpot. What are you liking about that?
Yeah, so HubSpot is, I think, a really compelling company. I almost think about them as the anti-Salesforce. They're in the same spaces as Salesforce. You think about sales, service, marketing, commerce, operations, et cetera. But in contrast to Salesforce, HubSpot is a company that has been built from the ground up organically. So all those different modules that we've talked about are built on the same platform versus through a string of M&A, which is what we see out of Salesforce. And I think this is, again, a company that is really investing in innovation, in customer success. And I see two ways that HubSpot can be a major beneficiary of AI. Number one is I think they have one of the most forward-leaning AI roadmaps in front office application software today. And really that comes down to their co-founder and CTO, Dharmesh Shah, who is probably more hands-on with AI than any public company exec, at least in this market cap range that I've seen. But I think the second thing is I believe they can leverage the innovation that AI brings and accelerate the pace of product development and use this as a way to narrow the gap versus Salesforce, because Salesforce definitely competes in the large enterprise. Just think about the Global 2000, whereas HubSpot tends to be more in the mid-market. Over time, I think that will change, right? If they can use AI on the product development side, create those governance and security and customization capabilities that are necessary, I wouldn't be surprised if we see HubSpot win a deal in the Global 2000 against Salesforce in the next 5 years.
Okay, we're going to have to leave it there, but Rishi, thanks very much for joining us. All the best in the new year.
Thank you so much.